All right, I think we're good. What is going on? Look at that. I didn't realize I was recording that. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Emphasizing the gentlemen and not too many ladies. But we have a special power hour for you. I got the big man, Corey West, coming on here. So I'm waiting for him to join in. Until he does join, we will go ahead and chat a little bit about what's been going on. First off, some new merch out. Filthy Power badge shirt. We also got that in a snapback, and we got a new Filthy Power hat, just white Filthy Power. And then we also have the Derek Smith tribute shirt. It's pretty cool. It's Derek posing like this with his crown on for King of Cali, and then the other half of it's Filthy Power going up it vertically. That's all available at filthypowerindustries.com. You guys are interested, please go check it out. Your support is greatly appreciated. Usually I put the link down, and I just realized I didn't do it in this one, so at the end I'll edit it for those that come in. Yeah, no, I'm interested. I got a lot of questions for Corey, mainly training stuff. Obviously, I'm most interested in, and then plans and how his weekend went. I don't know if you guys saw. I have yet to see any footage of his match with Mega Mike, but I've been talking to Mike about it. So love to hear what happened from Corey's perspective. I have a pretty good idea, I know. And then I saw his match with Ryan Espey. That was awesome. It was a wild weekend. There was so much going on, so many matches. It was a lot of fun. So again, guys, bear with me. This is my first power hour with a guest. So I'm learning as I go. Waiting for the big dog to come in. Just sent him the link a little bit ago on Instagram, so we'll see if he gets it when he comes on. But yeah, we all saw East versus West. I'm sure most of us, I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you saw East versus West this weekend. That was awesome, unexpected. A lot of things unexpected, at least from my end. But I don't know. I'm not like someone that you would go to for who you think's going to win this match in terms of those guys with the European, because I don't know anything about them. I don't even know how to pronounce half their names. And then with our local guys, what happened this weekend with Mega Mike and Corey is definitely that I was leaning toward most likely of happening. I was hoping Mike would be able to find a lane, and just because Mike's my friend, I have nothing against Corey. Corey's awesome. But I was hoping Mike would be able to find a lane to be able to do something, at least slow the match down. Again, I haven't seen it yet, but from what I was told, that was not the case. So, all right, Corey just seen the link, so I'm sure he'll be coming on here in a minute. Okay, you guys got some questions for Corey, I see. I will definitely be addressing these throughout the interview. Yeah, so when they make sense, I'll get to them, and I'll scan up if I pause or anything like that. Can't believe, yeah, dude. Gabe's gas tank versus Gennady. I literally stopped watching the match after I saw the first pin, the first one. I was like, oh man, that's a wrap. Oh, here we go. We got the big man joining us now. He's connected audio. There we go. He'll figure it out.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? I hear you, but I'm looking at the ceiling.
Yeah, you're an hour earlier than you told me.
Oh, no shit. What time is it over there?
8 o'clock.
Oh, fuck me. I thought it was 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
My bad,
I was
bro.
like, I clicked on your link, and it was like, join in 11 minutes. I was like, something's off.
Yeah, well, luckily you were on top of it, because I would have been sitting here talking to myself for an hour. Nothing I don't already do, so.
Gotcha.
So man, first off, congratulations on this weekend. I have yet to find any footage of the Mega Mike match. Obviously, I think he called his friends and the feds and had everyone the matches erase off their phone so it wouldn't go online, so he couldn't get embarrassed. But I heard that didn't go well at all. And then I saw your match with Ryan Espey. That was pretty incredible. Dude, Ryan is so massive. I met Ryan. I've never met you in person, but I met Ryan in person, and how big he was, and you guys just kind of look normal next to each other. So I have a you're a freaking mammoth, dude. how'd this weekend go for you, man? Like, did you compete in the tournament at all, or is it just the super?
No, I just did the super matches. We ended up hanging out for probably a couple of hours, maybe. Yeah, probably a couple of hours after the turn or after the super matches, and then had some friends and stuff that came down with us, and they wanted to go hang out and do dinner and stuff. And we ended up having dinner with Ryan and his wife, and just kind of made more of a trip of the end of it than the tournament.
Rather than having all day. Then did you do? So you didn't do any like gripping up with anyone after? It was just Mike, Ryan, and you got the hell out of there.
I let Mega Mike pull around on me a little bit afterwards just to see, because he was saying something about just felt like he was getting, knocked out of center, took out before he could engage. So, just out of, I just told him we could, slow pull if he wanted to do that. So we pulled around a little bit.
How'd that go?
Like you said, they're just levels, man. 3 years is not, man, he's probably, either right close to where I was, or maybe even a little bit ahead of where I was at 3 years. There's no, he's on his way. He just got to be patient.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he's been plagued with injuries, not making excuses for him, but obviously, he's my boy. And, I kind of knew you were too much just from what I hear from Monster Michael Todd and everything. But, again, it's that small part of me. You never want to let, give up on one of your boys. Like maybe he'll find a lane. Maybe he'll be able to do something, maybe get an early jump. But obviously, like you said, there's levels to this shit. And he just outclassed him. And again, I've yet to see any video, but from his direct words where he treated me like a 12-year-old girl. I was like, oh, okay. So I have an idea on how that went.
He was not, we chatted probably a third or half of the time we were there. So
sure. Yeah. He's a good
super
dude.
Nice guy. Just all I could say was just keep after it, because that's all you can really do. It's not one of those sports that's easy to come into and just go right at it. So
yeah, 100%. He's obviously doing something right. It's just time. He needs more time. So obviously I have a ton of questions to you about training and how to speed up that time and getting stronger, but we'll get there in a little bit. Now, Ryan Espey, man, he is the juggernaut of North America, left-handed, and he seems I don't know, it didn't look like he struggled with much at all.
Man, I don't know if I got the best version of Ryan. I know he had a little bit of stuff going on. Told him I'd gladly, pull him again at another date if that's, what he wanted to do. I really felt like, me and Cody talked about it some. Me and a lot of people talked about it some. Cody was probably one of the few people that didn't really write me off. Me and Cody have pulled around a couple times, or pulled a couple times competitively, and he always was able to flash straight through me back then. Hopefully, I bridged that gap at some, to some degree anyways. Cody kind of felt like I did. He thought that there was a chance that I was stronger, thought that there was a chance that I could get flashed, and that, Brian's speed was going to be too much. I felt like if I could control center on go, that it was mine. That's just how I felt. That's how, I think you can ask Derek. I told Derek the same thing whenever we pulled around 2-3 weeks prior.
Sure.
I knew if I could contain my hand or get cupped in, I didn't need to be cupped in. I didn't think if I could rotate or cup, I thought as long as my bicep wasn't open, that it was going to be a long day for Ryan. It just happened to be able to go that way. So
yeah, Monster Michael Todd said the same thing to me prior to this. We and me and him talk regularly. And I was like, man, what are your thoughts on that? Like, is Corey ready? I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm fucking new. So I ask questions. And I'm like, is Corey ready for that left-handed? And he's like, oh, dude, he's ready. He's probably going to beat him. Because, mind you, when I came into the sport, I believe you just had a left bicep tear. Wasn't that not that like a few years ago you tore your bicep?
So right at 17 months ago, I tore my bicep off.
It's only been 17 months. That was like right when I was really getting into the sport. And so that's how you know how green I am and how much of a infant I am in this shit. But so again, I didn't know. I just, when I come in, I just hear Corey Merritt's the guy, and then there's Ryan Espey, and then there's Devin, and those are kind of like right. Oh, Cody, excuse me. So that's what I was always told. And I've met Cody. I like Cody a lot. He lives not too far from me over here in Utah. And he's been to my event. I had him do that super match with Tony Tomlinson left-handed. So I also know what Cody's capable of. And I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that's kind of the big dog right now, left-handed. And what you did to Ryan, Cody just pulled Ryan, mind you, after pulling, and it was at the PAL tournament. I was there. It was during the after pulling. And Cody looked just nasty to Ryan then too. So I have to imagine next on your list left-handed, you got to be thinking Cody Merritt, huh?
Yeah, me and Cody probably talk weekly. We're pretty good buddies. He's a funny guy. We get along really good. He called me right after, kind of picked my brain on it. Before I even got to look at my phone, Cody was already getting blowed up about it. Just kind of wanted to be on the same page since we were getting so many offers to put a match together on what we both wanted out of it. So I'm sure it'll happen. I don't think, I don't think we're asking for the moon or anything. I think it's a pretty big match. I think there's a lot of questions. A lot of people are going to write me off. Cody is the man. He deserves to be the favorite. I like Cody a lot, but I'm going to try to be the man too. So.
Sure. That's like a promoter's dream right there. I bet every photography person out there in the world is just dying to get that photo shoot of you and Cody Merritt after the match, shirtless or something weird in like a field or something like that. I don't know. I can see you guys there.
Yeah,
I'm sure all the photographers are calling the promoters like crazy, saying, "Make this happen. We got to get these two men together." So,
right.
Do you have any leads on when this may happen, or you guys have not gone that far into it?
I think there's about five or six offers out there right now. I don't think any of them, we haven't really got back to anybody on anything. And they were all, I think, a little under what it probably is worth. There's a lot of things going on right now. I'm not saying that anybody owes us anything, but, we don't really owe anybody anything either. So, if there's promotions out there like Core Sports or, even like a Monster Factory, we'll see how this thing goes in July. And, if it goes really well, I'm sure, it makes a lot of sense for Michael to have it on a card.
I wasn't sure if you had a match on that card already or not.
I do. Me and John Brzenk, right-handed.
Yeah, that's okay. I remember hearing it. Okay, so
I'm talking about at a later date on another card. Yeah,
because that one's coming up. What, June 9th or July 9th?
July 9th.
July 9th. That's right. Yeah, no, I'm helping Michael peak for that one right now with his general strength training. Obviously he's been kicking ass on that. Now, a little bit of training questions. We won't get too deep into it and bore you out with that shit, but what kind of what did you do in preparation for this event? Did you do much different, or is it like a regular gym routine you're following? Are you following like a progressive program? How is it that you train for this?
Man, I do my stuff. I do whatever Michael wants to do. I do, I try the one time I didn't get enough table time in, I think it kind of bit me in the ass. So I try to get as much table time in as I can stand. Whether that be with, some groups or with Michael, really just kind of listening to my body and pushing it as far as it'll go, in the gym. And then, taking as much table time as I can handle without my elbows getting too tore up. Because that is something I've ran into in the past, is kind of overdoing it and then struggling to get healthy before a match. And I've gotten way better about that. So, just kind of making sure all my ducks are in a row and that my strength is where it needs to be or where I want it to be. Hope it is, whatever. And then just hoping that it all comes together on the day.
Right. So it's more like instinctual training, which is very common, and it works, absolutely works. Obviously, who's to tell you otherwise? The only problem with instinctual training, where there's times where you felt you overtrained, you didn't really track anything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but so when you don't track, you don't really know what you did that was too much to then try to moderate the next one and maybe just pull back just a little bit, just enough so you can keep progressing. Obviously, your style works for you. I used to train that way too, and I got strong as shit. That's for sure. I just eventually hit a limit where I wasn't really getting much stronger, and I had to start tracking everything. In the gym, what are the lifts you're focusing on? I know you're one of the most mutant benchers I've ever seen that doesn't know how to bench press. Like, you're just so freaking strong. You ragdoll weight that guys have been training their entire lives with everything perfect form, perfect diet, great genetics, tons of gear, great training program, perfect technique, and they can't even touch the numbers that you're just going in there, flat backing, no leg drive, just pounding it up. Has that always just been a gift of yours, bench pressing, or is it something you really work on, or how is that part of your training?
I've always, yes and no. I benched. I won like the high school state level stuff whenever I was in high school with very little. We do like a 4-month off season in football, and at 16 I could bench in the 400s with relative ease.
That's crazy.
But yeah, and I mean, if we'd have been on a year-round program, there's just no telling. But it wasn't really about bench; it was about just overall strength.
Sure.
So we did everything. But anyways, and then I got away from bench because I wrecked a street bike whenever I was 18, 19, somewhere right around there, and ripped my right shoulder out of socket. My AC still sticks up in the air, like it doesn't come down and cup the top like it's supposed to. And then I tried to get back into bench later on, partially tore my left rotator, had a bunch of problems with that. And just kind of called it quits and was like, I'll never be good at bench again. I had pretty bad form. I used to flare my elbows real bad whenever I benched, and just put a lot of strain on my shoulders. And then started getting into arm wrestling and got back into getting strong. Got around the guy. Do you know the name Philip Brewer?
Philip River? Not the top of my head, no.
Philip Brewer.
Oh, Brewer. Oh yeah, that name rings a bell.
Yes. So Philip benches, he works out at a gym that I used to go to every day. And, they had a huge picture of him on the wall. He was like one of the first or the first triple body weight benchers in the United States. He
Yep.
benched, I think he held the world record at like 502 at like 160 something pounds for a bit.
Yeah,
so
it's coming to me.
freak bencher. Got around Phil and some other guys that knew what they were doing and kind of got, back into wanting to be a good bench presser. Never really got a lot. My schedule is so all over the place. They kind of pointed me in the right direction with what I was doing with my elbows and, a few things like that. And, just immediately shot up in the 500s. And then just been a slow progression. I think I'd already be well into the 600s had I not tore my bicep off, because I benched the day that he released me, and I went from a 570 bench about 2 weeks prior to that match to a 405 was the best I could do after I got released the first day. But
bicep tears, man, they really hurt the bench. People don't realize how much you use that just in the bracing on the way down. So yeah, I totally get it. I know how shitty that is, and I know how injuries are too with powerlifting. Every time you're always at the top, it's when something happens and things unravel. And powerlifting is what you're doing, bench pressing. Obviously, you don't follow a formatted program, but that's what you're doing. Now, in terms of arm wrestling specific movements, because obviously we know you're a genetic mutant with the bench and you train it. What is it that you're doing for arm wrestling? Is that more table time? Like earlier you said you try to do enough table time, not too much. You didn't really specify how much. Is the side pressure, is all that in the gym, or is that on the table?
So I don't do, unless I'm at Michael's, I don't do any arm wrestling specific handles. I do a lot of stuff that I think helps, but it's still just traditional gym type stuff mostly. Whenever I get around Michael, we do nothing but pretty much, unless we're doing something that you've sent him as of recently. But other than that, we're always doing rotating handles and wrist roll stuff and just stuff that, associated with the hand. But, I don't know. I don't really know exactly what it is that, I know that Michael has something to do with it and, trying to defend the way he pulls all the time, right-handed. But, even my left now has gotten, my wrists are just weird. Like, people are starting to kind of joke around and make comments that I'm, untop rollable and, that my hand and wrist just doesn't go back. And that's, I just think it's more of a genetic thing than it is anything else, because I probably don't train that stuff as much as most people train it to get their hand busted back every time they pull.
Right.
So.
Well, your wrists are enormous. They're as big as your freaking head. I can see them on the counter. And the reason why you haven't been top rolled is because you haven't pulled me, but we'll make that happen eventually. in like 10 years, if you stop arm wrestling in 10 years, I got your ass. Yeah. So all right. So no, so you don't really progressively follow anything like that. You just do regular gym training shit, and you're just a fucking mutant. Okay, got it. Noted.
And to answer your other question, like if Michael's at home, I'll go over there at least once a week, and we'll pull. And then on Sundays, I usually go, as long as I don't have a match coming up or something, I go out to where this group that I helped start years ago, and I'll train with those 8 to 10 to 20 guys sometimes on Sundays.
Okay, cool. So you're other than when, you're probably not really getting opened up too much in practice, right? And how you and Michael, I know you guys bang pretty hard. Is that like just the years of doing it? You can just handle the 2 practices a week. It doesn't really bother you that much.
It's Michael I used to say so beat up. We do it a lot different now. And sometimes if I pulled recently in like a tournament or something, then it's different. But, I will fade faster than him. But when it's just 2 people, it's harder to get beat up like that because you don't have somebody fresh jumping on you all the time. Yeah. Man, there was a time whenever we were doing, just me and Michael were going twice a week, and, we both felt fine every time. I probably get more beat up at those practices where I let people just jump all over me, and then I, let somebody pull, a band or a strap or something through my hand, and, just can't even budge it out of center, but, full max effort, 100% red line, to try to do so.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Kind of the things I've been learning is once you get further into it at your level, you can get away with more of that training. So obviously, I already asked you about the Monster Factory. You have your match coming up with John Brzenk. Is there anything you need to do differently for John Brzenk, or is that going to be kind of more table time strategizing, or what's your plan for that?
Man, I think the plan is to try to win as fast as possible. Because I know, I think my advantage, I hope anyways, is strength. And I know his is, being able to arm wrestle really, really well. So I think the longer the match goes on, the more trouble I'm in. And, if I can pull him out of center and put him in a really bad spot on go, then hopefully, I can either finish him immediately or get him in a bad spot and, win that way. But, I'm not naive to what John is capable of. He's at this point, I'm just hoping by the last round, he's not just staring at me, like he did this weekend. So, that'll be there's a bunch of ways to win against John, and not having him stare at you in the last match that's the first win for me.
That's got to be an awful feeling. Like, what do you do? You're strapped to this man, and he's just looking at you, telling you to do whatever you want. You can't move it. Like, oh, it's got to feel awful.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like Todd Hutchins. Like, if I pull Todd again, as long as that motherfucker don't rub my head, I'm good.
I'd wear a fucking spiky hat. Be like, get it, dog. Come on. Or bring back the 90s spiky hair. All right. Well, kind of the next question I have, do you have anything planned after John, or do you know, or is that kind of where maybe after that time, you'll be kind of thinking maybe hopefully you and Cody can get some going left-handed. Do you have anything else planned after that, or?
Man, they were wanting me to come to East versus West 4. August really doesn't work that good for me. Got a lot going on, had a lot going on for several months now. Just planned on taking, a little bit of time around that time. So probably not going to do East versus West 4. Was talking to Ingen about East versus West 5 in November. I like the way that sounds. Can probably definitely get my job and everything, kind of rolled around where I can take that time to go out there. Also, my wife has an employee. She doesn't have a lot of employees, so whenever she has one out, it's kind of difficult for us to travel. And she's got a girl that works for her that is about to be on maternity leave, so that would make it a little tougher. And I don't have any intentions of traveling her without her. So
I don't blame you.
Neil also mentioned a couple times now about Arm Wars. So, a lot of things on the table. Just have to see how it all rolls out.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I've actually been dealing with those guys who I kind of talk to and help out where there's always going to be something, man. There's always going to be the next one. So at some point you just have to be comfortable saying no. And, arm wrestling's not going to go anywhere. Things are going to revolve and you just might be out of the conversation for a little bit. But if you're worth it, you'll be right back in the conversation. I think if you missed one event, you wouldn't be out of the picture. The people are still going to be, wanting to match with you. Now after this weekend, what do you think about seeing our buddy Derek Smith and his match at East versus West?
I mean, that guy looks strong, no doubt about it. I hate it for Derek. It happens.
Yeah. Is that something that's kind of more something that you would be interested in a match with Derek, or is that ship kind of already sailed?
I've always been down for it. They want to group us together. So, I just want to, I'm just a competitive person. We're in a professional strength sport. All I want to do is prove that I'm better than them.
Sure.
If they want to talk about us like we're the same, I just want to prove that we're not. So, it is what it is. It's not necessarily personal, but just
it's
just
personal, man. This sport is fucking personal. Like you're another man grabbing hands on the table and seeing who can pull each other over the best. Like it's personal shit. Like I can only imagine what that's like being at your guys' level with more eyes on you. Obviously, I got a little taste of it with Larry, but I didn't really have anything to lose. I was supposed to lose. I'm just I'm a retired power lifter that's arm wrestling. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like known for being or anything. So I can only imagine. It's pressure, but I like how your answer and how you handle that because I would love to see that just as a fan of the sport, knowing Derek, knowing you just through social media. But then, feeling Derek, if Derek just feels like it doesn't, Derek doesn't feel any different than Eric Spoto. It doesn't feel different than Devin Lorette to me because they're just so much stronger that I don't have anything to compare it to. So, seeing you two guys go at it would be freaking awesome. And I can only imagine you feel the same, especially when someone like me, Mega Mike is probably a step above me. And what you just did to him kind of answers that. I love how people say they want to see you and me have a match. Like this is people on my channel. I'm not saying in the big.
Oh yeah.
And I just laugh. I'm like, oh, well, you guys just want to see me get smashed 3 times in a row. Like, it's just. There's like we said, there's levels to this. What do you think about how Chance Shaw did with his match versus Todd Hutchins?
Todd's impressive. There's no way around it. What he did to Irakli was insane. Like you said, you can't tell the difference between, Derek or Devin. As far as watching Todd Hutchins pull, you can't tell the difference between Irakli or Chance or what's the guy from Australia? They all look the same.
Oh, yeah. Lucklin is here.
Yeah, he beat them all about the same. I
thought Chance gave him a decent fight, but what do I know?
I think he tried to play with Chance more personally, like the banter. He was all over social media, and who knows? Maybe he didn't. That's probably not fair to say, but I don't think he knew what to expect with Irakli. I think he he gave Irakli every ounce he could stand from the first go. You know,
Right. He didn't
I don't
want to.
think
He didn't want to
he
leave
wanted.
any doubt.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I
but
said.
he kind of played around more, you know, in the lead up to Chance and all that stuff. He had the videos going and the little tugboat memes and you know
I love
just
it.
being a funny guy about it. But I mean, Chance is good. Chance has a style that is a problem for certain people. I mean, he just is.
Right.
Um, and you know, he looks like he's getting stronger inside, which that's what he really is going to have to do because those people that he can't take their hand, he's going to have something different. I mean, and he's got a little, you know, he's got a wide frame. I mean, he's not obviously as big as a lot of these supers are now, but he has he has what looks like would be a powerful, you know, a bit, you know, body to build some inside strength with.
Yeah, no, I've been working with him on his general fitness and general training and stuff like that too, and helping him with that. But obviously, all the arm wrestling stuff he's doing on his own. You know, obviously, I'm biased. I'm a fan of Chance. I want to see it. I'd love to see. I mean, is that something you think that would you rather have a match with Derek or with Chance, or would you rather watch
Oh, I don't care.
Derek and Chance have a match?
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. We could do a round. It doesn't matter. Like
Round robin, that'd be interesting. There'd have to be a fourth.
Yeah,
There's got to be a fourth.
unless somebody's. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of fourth options. I mean, you got.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who. I think if Mikey Aiello came back strong, that'd be cool. But I know Mikey's been out with everything, and I don't. Yeah, he might not even be in that conversation yet. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys coming up though. I mean, even a guy like Austin Jaggers or Wayne Withers. You know, there's a lot of good options.
Yeah, that's true. That is those are two monsters of dudes. I know Wayne's enormous, and Austin is no joke. He won the Arnold earlier this year. I remember that. All right, well, let's take a peek at some of these questions because I don't want to keep you on all night. I know I've already got a half hour of your time, which I do appreciate.
Yeah, but you came on earlier, so it's not as big a deal.
Hey, see that? Now we can go even longer. Hear that, guys? There's a lot of people sucking your balls, saying how good of a job you did, which yeah, I agree with that. Will Corey be at the Keystone Championship in PA June 18th?
No.
He doesn't even know who you are, Robert. Don't ask stupid questions. Corey, how do you feel about Monster Michael Todd's loss this week? In my opinion, his Rivas guy is top guy. Thanks.
I hate it for him. He'll get it. It's just takes time. He, like he said, he went through a lot and I think he tried to over-evaluate how he needed to arm wrestle for a long time and just got to get back to what he knows. So
yeah, I think the travel and all that, I don't want to make excuses for him either, but the travel and all that, man, it's just not ideal for strength sports. It really sucks. But I do have a question. What do you think about his match versus Todd Hutchins coming up?
I mean, he's got to be a big favorite. Todd's phenomenal, but Michael's just has Todd. I could be wrong. Has Todd? I mean, he beat me obviously, but like, I think I don't know if he's beat any true elite supers since he's been. I mean, depending on what you're calling elite, but like he's pulled Devin, he's pulled Jerry, he's pulled Mike, or no, he hasn't pulled Michael. He's pulled who else did he lose to? He kind of took, which he's a different guy now. I give him that. But when they first threw him up in that heavyweight class in the WAL, he was, taking a lot of L's over it. I would expect Michael to win that for sure, but.
Yeah, I think Michael's style is just a nightmare for him, and Todd being short, not really having a press, especially not going to be able to get tall enough over the top of Michael like that guy Rivas was. Yeah, I think of the same thing. I think Michael was not that all day. We got a $5 super chat from Cold Stone saying, Corey, were you happy to see Derek be willing to pull you after his recent match?
Oh, did he say that? I didn't see that.
I don't know if he said it either. And it's got kind of broken English. I don't know if this guy knows much. I mean, I don't know who you are, Cold Stone. But yeah, I don't know either. I'm just reading the super chats, bro. I'm trying to get my $5, dog.
Yeah, I'm always down. I have been for sure.
Right on. Yeah,
I think
so
we should have done it. I think we should have done it when it was worth more money, but it's whatever.
yeah, some things are better when they're wait, other things gotta be wait too long, right? But like I said, a fan like me being a fan of it, I want to see that happen bad. Again, just for so many reasons. And both you guys are the younger up and coming guys. It'd be cool to see. But what do I know? I don't know shit. All right, well, that's kind of it on that. I don't want to keep you all day, dude, but I do appreciate you coming on. Your next match is going to be July 9th at the Monster Factory versus John Brzenk. After that, nothing positive, but hopefully you got something going with Cody Merritt left hand. What am I missing anything? You're King of the East versus West, potentially at King of the East versus West 5.
Yeah, he mentioned Gerdetcha, Reef, and I can't remember the third name. So I mean, some really good options to to see where I'm at.
Gerdetcha would be freaking awesome. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah, I would love. I mean, I think again, that's one of those things. I think there are still some guys out there that probably possess the power to to put me on the ropes and maybe bleed me out inside, that either have as much power or more power than me. I don't necessarily know how many guys can top roll me though. So that would be, and I don't think Alex has the power to beat me in any other way. So I could be wrong. He may, if the match happens, he may prove me to be a liar. But until it happens, that's the way I'll feel about it.
I want to see it, man. That would be so freaking cool. Yeah, man, that would be awesome. Someone, the Schmo says, when will Corey get on that filthy power training regimen? Unless he already is, I want to see that 600 plus easy bench. There's nothing easy about a 600 pound bench. First off, nothing easy at all. And Corey knows he has access to me if he wants it. But I know,
I tell you what's weird. It used to be different. I used to have some weird like stability issues whenever I'd bring the weight out or down or whatever. And I used to feel like I fought it on the way down to stabilize it, to get it where I wanted it. For some reason, in the last 6 months or so, I feel like when I did that 575, I think I could have pulled it out of the rack myself. Like that part of it has gotten easy for some reason. Like the weight coming down feels like nothing. Huh. It just all comes down to if I have enough back and tricep to get it up.
Right. Yeah, maybe you're doing something different, that you're not aware of. I don't know. It looked comfortable for you on the way down, and then I noticed your speed's pretty good, so you're getting good stretch reflex off the bottom. And then whether or not you keep your lats engaged without flaring your elbows out, again, your bench isn't horrible. There's just some things that you could definitely do better. Leg drive being one of them. If you added some leg drive, you would see how much easier that even got on the way down, how much more stable it would be. I'll send you some stuff after we get off the phone, and you can watch it. If not, you can ignore me too. I don't care either way, brother. I want to see a 600-pound bench.
Yeah, I'm going to see where I'm at. It'll take me about a week, maybe 10 days for my elbows to feel like good again. I'll ice and do a bunch of, high rep, still high volume, high weight, but higher rep stuff. In probably 2 weeks, I'll kind of test the waters to see where I'm at, because I've got like 5 weeks before John. So if I'm anywhere close to that 575 still, because I haven't benched heavy in like 4 or 5 weeks because of matches, then I'll probably try to hit a 590 and a 600 somewhere in that 5 weeks.
So don't even waste your energy for that 590. Just go right for the 6. If you feel it, go for it.
I think it's a mental thing. I got to see the 590 go up first.
Yeah, I hear the most I've ever done in training was 585, and then I've done 579 in a competition. But yeah, it's scary, man. When you see those 6 wheels on that motherfucker coming over your chest, and things don't go right, you could die. People really don't know what that feels like and how much it hurts your elbows and your wrist and everything else.
Man, I used to get my wrists used to feel like they were sprained. And I was like, I'm going to start using wrist straps. And then I thought about it and I was like, man, if it hurts like this, but it goes away, it's got to be making something stronger. Like
Yeah,
it has to be. So I just
100%.
decided not to. And now my wrists never hurt.
Right. Yeah, I would
So,
only wear wraps like on that last 2 weeks of a prep, because then it felt like, because I was allowed to wear them in the meet. So then it would feel like I was cheating. So I would like turn my wrist down and then wrap it. And then so when I get on the bar and it would pull back, it just feel like a cast. It was so stable. And when you train year round without the wraps and then you throw them on, it's like you're cheating. Same thing with the belt. I would only wear a belt the last few weeks of prep. So my whole core would be used for stabilizing all my heavy squats. And then when I throw that belt on, here we go. Now we got an extra layer. We're going to get another 10, 15 kilos out of the squat.
yeah. Um, yeah, I need to do something. I definitely want to get over that 600 mark. Just going to, I don't know how to do the leg. Like I've tried to force myself to learn how to do it with lighter weight and it just doesn't feel like I just can't do it.
So it's not, there's levels to leg drive. Your leg stability is probably the better word that I'm looking for you, where your legs kind of bopping around, and we can get them just planted flat to where they're not moving around and you're actually using your legs to stabilize. You'll that alone is all you need. You don't really necessarily need a big arch. James Harrison benched 710 pounds flat back, no leg drive at all. So it could be done. It just depends on your genetic limitations, right? Like, but again, we kind of see you're at 575 without any of it. Imagine if you added some of it and you got to 610, 615 real quick without even really getting stronger, just now having proper, better form. Things could change just from that alone. But like I said, I'll send you some stuff. We'll talk about it a little bit. As interested as you are in it, as much as I'll help you.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think people often tell me I'm wrong, but I really do think bench makes a big difference on how I pull. It just seems like it does. When my bench is low, it's easier for me. Like if I haven't benched heavy and I haven't, been hitting it hard and I'm just kind of coasting, just training, I will lose this separation will happen much easier and much earlier on in a practice. And like, it just seems like the heavier my bench gets, the better connection that I have in my lane.
Yeah, no, I agree with
Shot
you.
feels.
I don't think like being a big bencher makes you a good arm wrestler, but I think if you're a good arm wrestler and then you get a big bench, it's going to make you a better arm wrestler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think it's underused in arm wrestling, but I'm a guy that's years into it, so no one's listening to me for advice on this shit yet. But again, I preach it to the ones that want to hear it. But I think what you're doing though with your training is real similar to a lot of guys I'm talking to. They're kind of at the top. They just do a lot of general strength training and then the table work once a week, and that kind of does it. And I want to get to that point. It just takes time. I think when you first start out, they're going to be different than how long you been in the sport now? What, 7 or 8 years?
October will be the end of my 6th year.
6 years, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I can just remember back to powerlifting when I was 3 years in or 2 years in compared to 6 years in. It was completely different in terms of what I was doing in the gym. Just because other things are important when you're newer in and greener and yeah, exactly, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm always the worst with the advice because I feel like I took the easy route. Like I just let Michael beat me up all the time and got sore and got healed up and then took my beating and went home. And it's like I took the easy route, the fast track.
How long were you pulling with Michael before you started really giving him some fights?
Oh, early on left-handed. Like we had a lot of fun left-handed pretty early. Right-handed, I mean, there's still days where he smashes me, and then it just depends. We never get synced up very good where like he's either like almost ready for a match and I'm like resting, and he's or he's resting, and then I'll sneak some in on him. It just I don't know how long that's been going on, but not super long. But we've always made it work. Whether he let me pull him with a band for a minute first, and then get wore down, just whatever it took.
So what you think? What, 3 years into it, you're battling with him, or I mean, you got to give me a number.
Oh no, I didn't even start training with him until almost 3 years in.
Oh, okay. So you already had a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. Now, if I caught him at a practice or something where he was already kind of beat down or had pulled a lot, I think we had some fun like that early on. But anybody can do that.
That's where I shine, bros, in practice. I'll get the grill going. I'll start firing up burgers. Like, hey guys, I can't pull right now. I'm cooking. You know what I mean? And I'm watching them all over there. I'm watching them all over. I'm like, all right, he's gone like 6 times. That's what I'm going for next. And then I'll be like, oh man,
Right.
my arm's kind of sore. You want to go? Let's get on the table. And that's where you see my highlight reel cooking.
Got a down pat. Got a strategy.
Hey man, it works. I got a reputation out here. Well, Corey, dude, I do appreciate you taking out the time. I do know I fucked up the time on you. I thought you were 3 hours different. I didn't realize you're Tennessee. Wait, you're Arkansas, right? You're
Arkansas,
near Arkansas. So yeah, that's different than what I looked at online. But I do appreciate you, man. Where can people find you? Are you on Facebook, Instagram? Where you at?
Man, I don't really. I just got a personal page on everything. I'm not. I got a job and stuff, but I barely do the social media thing.
You got a real job, huh? You're not a degenerate like me, just trying to sell my soul.
Job. I wish. Yeah, I wouldn't call it. Yeah, if I could make it doing other things, that'd be cool. But I just, just always needed a job, so I always had a job.
Yeah, if things don't work out, you can always try OnlyFans. You know what I mean? It's worked for all of us, the Zeke guys.
Yeah.
All right, Corey. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna wrap this up here. You got anything last minute you want to add before we cancel this out?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, brother, man. I'll talk to you, dude. I'll show you some videos on YouTube or Instagram about YouTube or some benching. You can watch it when you're taking a shit. Maybe something will click when you're in the gym or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No homo though.
Definitely no homo.
All right.